Welcome to 2023. You made it. I don't believe that God has brought you thus far to leave you. This year, ladies and gentlemen, is a special gift from God to you. God has now blessed you with another 12 months of grace, 365 days of new opportunities, new possibilities, new hope. My name is Donovan Host, and for just a few minutes, I want to speak to you on the subject, what do you have in your hands? A true story is told of a young man that was deeply in love with a young lady by the name of Caroline. One day these two were sitting on a stoop in front of the house, and Winston took out a piece of paper and he read a poem that he wrote to Caroline. And the poem read as follows. He said, "Caroline, if I had 1,000 eyes, they will all be looking at you. Caroline, if I had 1,000 arms, they will all be holding you. Caroline, if I had 1,000 lips, they will all be kissing you." Just before he could get to the next line, Caroline said, "Oh, shut up, Winston, because you have 2 eyes and you barely look at me. You have 2 arms and you barely hug me or hold me. You have 2 lips and you cannot even try and kiss me." Ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is this: stop complaining about what you don't have and start using what you do have. So my question to you is, in this new year, what do you have in your hands? Ladies and gentlemen, in my lifetime, I have met a lot of people that always wait on somebody or something in order for them to move to the next level of their life. Some are waiting on the perfect man in order to start their life. Some are waiting on a good job in order to start their life. Some are even waiting on a promotion at work to start their business. Some are waiting to win the lottery in order for life to start. I want you to know this: the longer you wait on things or people to start your life, the longer you are delaying your own success. When Moses was stuck at the Red Sea, God asked him this: "Moses, what do you have in your hands?" All throughout the Bible, we find that God always uses what's in a person's possession in order to give them the answer that they have been praying for. Moses found himself stuck at the Red Sea. He got his back against the wall. He can't turn to the left, he can't turn to the right, he can't move forward, and he can't go back because Pharaoh and his army is behind him. God asked Moses this: "Moses, what do you have in your hands?" Ladies and gentlemen, God will always use what is in your possession in order to answer your prayer. On another occasion, we find that Jesus is faced with a challenge. He has to feed 5,000 plus wives and their kids, and Jesus is faced with a challenge where he doesn't have to feed them. And Jesus asks his disciples, "What does the people in the crowd have?" And the little boy brings forward 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. Ladies and gentlemen, and God uses that to multiply and feed. God uses that to answer the people's cry, to answer whatever the people has been praying for. So the moral of the story is this again: God will always use what's in your possession, what is in your hands. God always uses what's within our possession. God always uses what's in our hands. Many times, ladies and gentlemen, we doubt God's ability to use what he has placed in our possession. God will take the little you have and multiply it. So you've got to stop looking around, especially in this new year. Stop looking at your neighbors. Stop looking at the right. Stop looking to the left, and start looking up, because God will use what is in your hands. Again, I ask you the question, what is in your hands? In the book of 2 Kings 4, from 1 to 7, we find another example. The widow of a prophet who was in debt and had no means of covering or paying her debt. She went to Elijah and asked Elijah what to do in order to cover her debt. Elijah asked her this question: "What do you have in your house?" The widow replied and said, "Only a little oil." Ladies and gentlemen, in her eyes, that was nothing. But in the eyes of God, that was all she needed in order to meet her need. Then Elijah gave her instructions, and the little oil barrels that she could sell and cover her debt. Again, what do you have in your house? What do you have in your hands? So you've got to ask yourself the question, in this new year that God has brought you to, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your possession that God can use to change your life, that God can use to change the life of your children? Ladies and gentlemen, stop looking around at answers from your neighbors. Stop looking around at answers from your family, because God wants to use whatever is in your possession. The breakthrough to your children's success is inside of you. The breakthrough to your financial success is inside of you. Stop looking around and just ask yourself, what is in this house? What is in my hands? Because God will use whatever is in your hands. So ladies and gentlemen, just to conclude, I want to give you one last example. Look at the life of Adam. Adam, when God created Adam, Adam was roaming around in the Garden of Eden, and he looked at animals and he saw that they were in pairs. And Adam looked to God and said, God, I am lonely. I am lonely down here. And God said, whatever you are praying for is not next door, it's inside of you. Go lay down, sleep. I will pull the answer out of you and present it to you. So I want to round off by letting you know, whatever you are asking and trusting God for this year, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is inside of you. Stop looking to your left or to your right, but look to God and believe that God will do it through you. God bless you, and ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a fruitful year.